In the beginning, they were Jaffa biscuits, and they were good. Not great, and definitely not pretty, but they were a perfectly adequate accompaniment to a cup of tea. Then I tried to up my game a bit and widen my skill set. Tried looking for a reliable way to temper chocolate at home without worrying too much over things like user error or technique or skill, and that came out fairly well as well. I had a bit of fun along the way, but the end result was mixed. Now I think I've got enough of a handle on this now to plan a dessert around it, but we'll see. How about a tiramisu? We'll put a pin in the chocolate for now and look at the tea. There's plenty of options out there, but I think I'm going to go with Earl Grey. I want that fruity, almost floral flavour in this, just for something a bit different. Bags are fine, let's not be snobs. Once they're in, a decent handful of these daisy looking things too. Chamomile flowers. If I can get them into the infuser. Absolutely fantastic flavour to these, it goes brilliantly with the bergamot. Near boiling water and let this infuse for quite a while actually. The bags I'll take out soon, but the chamomile I'm going to leave until the last minute. Off to one side and just forget about it while it cools down. Clean up as you go. Next up, chop about 100 grams of white chocolate. I know that in a tiramisu the chocolate normally comes in the form of a generous layer of cocoa powder or maybe grated chocolate, but that kind of defeats the entire purpose of this episode. Get about 2/3 of this into a bowl and get the bowl into the microwave for 20 seconds. Fat boom notwithstanding, this little method for tempering seemed to work a treat, so I'm cashing my chips for this. There we go, now that's just melted. Stir in the other 30 something grams of the chocolate, then back in the microwave for a few more 10-second bursts. There you go, looks good to me. Let's get the mold sorted. No ice cube trays this time, we actually have something decent. I'm gonna guess the same process of filling them is gonna be more or less the same though. Half filled, get the sides lined. Nope, bit of spillage. This is kind of awkward, I'm not gonna lie, but it seems to be working. Yeah, anyway, I'm happy enough with that. Let's make the sweet gungy bit. Start off by separating 2 eggs. Now we've touched on this process in some episode or another, just don't overcomplicate it. Just let the egg whites run through your hand and catch the yolk. Don't worry about the yolks yet, but the whites we're just going to whisk to soft peaks. There you go. Now for the yolks, mix in about 100 grams of caster sugar and beat this until it looks more or less like this. Light and creamy, lovely. Now in with 300 ml of whipping cream. Get this whipped enough to leave little ribbony trails in its wake. Lovely, now in with 450 grams of mascarpone cheese. Full disclosure, this is an absolute nightmare to get evenly distributed, and not just because I'm using this stupid little wire whisk and a bowl that's clearly too small. There we go, that's better. Mix this together, spatula seems to be doing a better job, to be honest. There we go. Once they're combined, fold in that egg white. Carefully, I don't want to knock out any more air than I already have. That looks good. Right, now learning from last time, rather than spooning this into my chocolate shells, I'm going to use a piping bag. Oh, you know, a sandwich bag, but functionally it's the same thing. Put it into one of these little jugs to make my life a bit easier and fill it. This is taking a while, hang on. There you go, that's a bit easier. Level this out, and why should white chocolate have all the fun? Run this through the tempering gamut. So that's 100 grams chopped, 2/3 of that into a bowl. Microwave briefly, stir, repeat, then the remaining third goes in. Stir, 10 seconds in the microwave, stir, mold, and half fill. Okay, hang on, I think I've shot myself in the foot. How the hell do I get an even cover on this without ruining the white chocolate? Right, just rip the band-aid. Alley-oop. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, at least it's fairly even. 3rd time's a charm. Plain chocolate. Personal favourite type of chocolate, incidentally. It's not as sickly as milk chocolate. What about you? Let me know in the comments what your chocolate of the choice is. Let's see how many people say milk. Yeah, anywho, tasty brown bits into the round glass thing into the magic box. Silicone stirry stick. Tasty brown bits into tasty brown goo. Stirry stick again. Magic box again. Done. Let's use a pastry brush this time. That's gotta be a better idea, surely. Yeah, it was. There you go, that's the method to use. In fact, I'm just going to brush the other two with another layer, just to reinforce them and fill in any gaps. Is this what traffic lights look like to colorblind people? Anyway, set this somewhere to set slowly. I want to try and avoid the fat bloom this time. Right, time skip ahead to when these are set. Let's get our tiramisu soak ready. Teaspoon of honey. Little bit of that tea blend to dissolve it. There you go, lovely. Earl Grey and chamomile has to be lemon, doesn't it? So here comes some limoncello. I'm curious now, what does this actually taste like? Fucking delicious. 12 glasses of that on a hot summer's day, that's happening. Yeah, anyway. Get a few boudoir biscuits, snap them in half just so that they'll fit in the molds. Then soak them in the tea. Just for a few seconds or it's just going to disintegrate completely. Layer of cream. Layer of ladyfingers. Don't forget the spare. Bit more cream. A bit less cream maybe. I want to finish these off with another textural layer, so I'm going to go with a sort of a cheesecake base, I think. Made of ginger nuts. Splits these together. Bit of butter. Now I've microplaned in about a teaspoon of fresh ginger into this as well. Melt that down and add it to the crumbs. Now pour the whole thing out onto a sheet and pack it into one solid layer. Now I need a biscuit cutter slightly smaller than the mold. Nope. That's the one. Cut a few discs out of this before it sets. I might have made too much. Neaten those up. Then once this has gone into a fridge to firm up, this goes onto the cream. Yep, that's definitely overfilled. Learn for the next one. Speaking of which, chocolate milk. Now normally there'd be some sort of liquor in this, but I'm leaving it out of this one. Going to add a bit of vanilla extract instead, which I guess is still 35% alcohol though, so yeah. That's more or less empty, just finished the bottle. Mix it. Sponge fingers. Flip and onto the cream. Second layer. Let's use a spoon this time. Right up to the edges. There you go. Now I want a chocolatey base on this one, so I'm going to use these bourbons. I'm hoping that the thing pretending to be buttercream in these will help bind it without needing to add too much extra butter. There we go. Hang on with it. No, that's not even kind of coming together. Alright, there you go. About 50-ish of melted butter, and get that onto a baking sheet. Pat it down, cut out discs. I made less this time. Fridge then, once it's set, onto the Tiramisu. Alright, still a bit too much cream apparently. Right, last one. Any guesses what flavour this one's going to be? Layer of that mascarpone cream into the plain chocolate shell. Bit of cold, strong coffee. Spoonful of sugar. Now, normally in tiramisu you'd add some masala wine or some Madeira wine, but since the tiramisu ship sailed with the chocolate shell. Try saying that. Tiramisu ship sailed with the chocolate shell. I'm going to add a shot of Jack Daniel's White Rabbit Saloon. You know the drill by now. Sponge fingers broken in half. Another layer of cream. Whoopla. I actually made sure there was enough room for a biscuit this time too. For this one I'm going to use a pack of these cream-filled Lotus Biscoffs. Measure of butter. If you want to make this but you can't find the creamy ones, just use the regular ones with slightly more butter. Baking tray. Pat it out. Biscuit cutter. Fridge. Repetitive episode this one. And pop this onto the cream. Time to turn this out. Hold your breath and pray with me for better results than we had last time. Oh, it's holding together this time. It's good, it's good, it's good. Yep, yes, look at that. It's solid, it's not crumbling apart or collapsing in on itself. Joy. What about the milk chocolate? Yes, look at that. And the white chocolate ones too, huzzah! Silicone molds apparently are not the same thing as silicone ice cube trays. Let's get these onto a plate. There we go. Still got that fat bloom on this though. I really got no idea why. The room wasn't particularly cold, there wasn't anything in it while it's set. I'm at a loss. If any chocolatiers have managed to watch this far into the video without fainting, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Still, it looks like it's cosmetic at best. Structurally, these seem to have come out pretty much exactly like I hoped they would. Just gonna top these and we'll be done. Coffee beans on the coffee one. They're actually really nice to nibble on. Bit of melted chocolate to hold them in place. Chocolate one, gotta be a flake. There we are. And what about the tiramisu? Had to be, didn't it? Slice it into slices, about 1/2 centimeter. Try and get them a bit more even than I've managed to. Now, as much as I want to top this with a slice of raw lemon, I would really prefer it to taste nice, so I'm going to try candying them. Start off by blanching them in boiling water for about a minute. Take the slices out, change the water and blanch them for another minute. Do that twice more. This step is important, so don't skip it. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. While we're here, let's just take a minute to watch this shot. It's pretty. Okay, that's enough. This episode's running along as it is. There you go, seeds removed, and you can see very tender, but importantly the bitterness from the pith is being cooked out. Now to candy it, cast the sugar into a pan with just enough water to cover it, and once that's bubbling away, in with the lemon slices. Just let these poach in the syrup for a few minutes, turning semi-regularly. If you can get any purges on the damn things. Come on. Finally. Yeah, until they're translucent, and then out and onto a piece of baking paper to set up. Kinda curious to see what this syrup tastes like. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, that's golden syrup. Granted, the colour's not there and it's ridiculously weak, but that is off-brand golden syrup. Bit of white chocolate to hold this in place. Yeah, that's not going to stand up, is it? Screw it, there you go. Improvise. And after wiping the plate down, a trio of tiramisu. I am very, very happy with it. Yes, okay, there's that bloom, but comparing these to the dummy run we did last week, these are night and day. Let's see that crack. Yes, look at that. Filling looks great too. I was a bit concerned that the cream to cake ratio would be off, but that's worked out well, I think. You can see how absorbent those aptly named sponges are, even for the brief period they actually spent in the coffee. Taste-wise, it's tiramisu with Jack. You're getting that coffee, you're getting that fantastic mascarpone cream, and it's not just a plate of just delicious gunge, there's actually a bit of texture to this. Biscoff base goes great with this, surprising no one. Coffee beans give nice little bursts of flavour, just make sure you get them with a mouthful of cream or they tend to stick to the back of your throat. What about the tea one? If I can... Yeah, move the lemon out of the way first. There we go, look at that. Absolutely lovely. Not quite as in your face as the coffee one was, but you're definitely getting a nice fruity, sort of florally summer flavour from this. Ginger works, limoncello really works. What about this candied lemon? Well, that's incredible. For how easy that was to make, that's probably the best payoff on the plate so far. What about the chocolate one? Not as satisfying a crack as the other two. What about the taste? Alright. Sort of the same as the tea. I wouldn't know that this was chocolate flavour if I hadn't been told, but it's still got a really nice, rich sort of flavour to it. Still we're getting plenty of chocolatiness from the chocolate. And the biscuits, they're pretty chocolatey as well. Try cracking this again. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, I'll take that. So, yeah, a tiramisu trilogy. If you're planning on making these yourselves, I'd recommend making them lemon, chocolate, tea, base, cream, instead of the adapted for screen order that I've used here. Honestly, all three taste great, they're all definitely worth having a go at, but the coffee one is the only one where I could tell what I was eating. Might play around with the Earl Grey one though, I think there's something else I can do with this. We'll see. In the meantime, you know the drill. Like the video if you liked the video, share it around, comment and subscribe if you're not already. It all helps the channel out, believe it or not. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, get forked.